start the stream, and all of a sudden Mark hops in here, and then he gets the party started. So thank you, Mark, for that. He's been going for a while. But welcome everybody. Hello.
What's up?
Today we have Liz. Hi, Liz. Digging Canuck.
Hello.
What's going on? How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I'm so glad that you got past your computer troubles. The star of the show.
Right on.
No, it's good. So first, we want to start off the stream by giving a nice cheers for Canada Day.
Right on.
And the Digging Canuck. We all brought a drink. So everybody in the chat also say some cheers to celebrate Canada Day.
Woo! So, cheers.
Liz, do you guys do anything special up there for Canada Day?
Get together with the family, eat food, and have a barbecue.
As you should. As you should.
Yeah.
Any fireworks going off?
Oh, there'll be a lot of fireworks tonight.
Good.
Lots.
All right. Well, cool. So, I also, we've been a fan of the channel for a very long time, Liz. We've been lurking in the backgrounds watching. We have a lot of favorites. We've got one in particular highlight that we wanted to show. Actually, Mark provided it to us, and we wanted to show it. And we watch this over and over because we can't get over it.
Oh, boy.
Let's see it. Thank you, Mark, for that. We appreciate that. So what were you doing in that one?
Oh my gosh, I dug my very first gold ring.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about that.
I think I broke the record for I didn't know what to say, and the only thing that would come out of my mouth was, oh my god. Somebody actually counted, and I said it 78 times in that.
That's a shell shock you go into, though, after you find something so epic or monumental like that.
Yeah,
you just lose track.
I was in total disbelief.
How long have you been detecting, Liz?
Oh my goodness. On and off since about 2004. Mostly off, but then really like detecting since about 2016.
Cool. And that's the crazy part, right? Is that some people find a gold ring within the first week of metal detecting.
Yes.
And some people, I know none of our group has found a gold ring. That's the gold plated, but nothing full gold. So
you
just never know. We were talking about that earlier. We were, I continually see in these pages in Facebook stuff about beginner's luck. Do you believe in beginner's luck?
Well, I think that beginners have more luck because they dig it all. And as you detect more, you start thinking, oh, I'm going to do the high tones, which is what I kind of got stuck into, doing the high tones. And then I actually saw an Instagram post where Sebastian, the 9-2 finder, he said that he was digging the nickel signals so that he could find gold. So I'm like, because I have the 600, the Knox 600. Yep. So I thought, what the heck? I'm going to dig nickel signals. And oh my goodness.
There it was.
Yeah.
I swear that's the worst habit you can get into as a metal detector, is just try to sneak out all those high silver tones.
Yes.
I mean, those are exciting to dig. And every time you hear one, especially on the Equinox, I have the 600. Mike, you have the 800.
Yep.
Joe, what do you got? What do you got coming?
I got the 800 coming.
Right
go.
So, and then Joel also uses an Equinox, so we're all part of the family except Eric. So, Eric, you should try
an Equinox, all right?
I had it, but I sold it.
There we go.
Oh,
an Equinox original sin.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? How long have you been detecting with your original or your E-Track?
3 years.
Yeah. So it's basically an appendage at this point. It's grown off of your arm. So, but we're all Knox users, and when you get used to hearing that high tone, it's hard not to dig that one. But then you start hearing some of those mid or low tones on the Equinox, and you're like, the Equinox is a true machine. You got to dig it all if you want to find it.
Exactly.
Well, that's an interesting thing to think about too, is that the high tones overall, when you get a screaming high tone, I mean, there's some that are hitting that 39 range that are square nails and are trash, but it does pick up on a lot of stuff that screams high that isn't necessarily silver or super highly,
Yes.
responsive to it. But the midtones, I feel like there's a bigger comfort zone in finding something decent in a midtone, and you'll get the aluminum foil all the way at the base end of the scale, but those 15, 16s, excluding your shotgun shells, which are going to run you, crazy all the time. But other than that, I feel like there's a higher propensity for a mid to a lower tone to have something unique but valuable versus those high tones. It's either something great or something crap, no matter which way it is.
That's the truth.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, 2 things. This stream is the first stream that I've been doing that I'm married. I had to skip last live stream because we were out in Kansas City getting married.
Right.
And so this is the first one. So this is my first stream as a married man. And then it's Eric's anniversary tonight, and he was lucky enough to join the stream. He might be in trouble after this.
No, she's good.
What year is it, Eric?
What?
What year is it? What is it?
13 years.
Good for you, man. That's
20
awesome.
years together. But we've been together 20 years. So.
Well, that's great. We were engaged for 4 years. I don't know what took us so long, but whatever. What are you gonna do? We got a lot of cool people in the chat. Also, we saw Charlie in there. We saw Nancy. We saw Jason, Dan, Ezra. I finally saw Ezra. Corey's new to the chat. I think
there's a whole mess of mics in there.
One of your friends, Liz. Corey.
Yes, the treasure hunter.
Yeah. So we got a lot of cool people in the chat. So hello. Thanks for keeping it interesting. That's for sure. Mike, what do you got? You got anything?
What's that?
You got anything you want to ask Liz?
Oh yeah. Well, so I obviously big fans of the channel, right? So I think that something is pretty cool. Obviously, you're now, what part of Canada are you in, Liz?
I'm in Southern Ontario, so I'm about an hour west of Buffalo.
Okay, cool. Right. So you're on the East Coast with us, and all things considered, compared to some of the people across the pond in England and stuff who are detecting, you're finding a lot of similar stuff that we are. But, I think it's so cool that it's just right across the border, completely different coinage, completely different, range of things you can find. So I guess what I would ask first and foremost is, what do you think is like arguably the number one Canadian bucket lister?
I think a large cent.
Okay.
I think a large cent is the number one Canadian bucket lister as far as a coin.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
You know what I see? I see a lot of those bank tokens, the Canadian bank tokens.
Bank of Montreal tokens.
Usually, though, when you do dig them, they're not in good shape, and if one side is like half decent, the other side is totally roached.
And that's an equivalent. I mean, I've never even seen one in person. That's equivalent of a large cent, kind of, or is it something similar? Like
it was pre-large cent.
Oh, it's pre-large cent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's really cool.
1840s.
Yeah, before Canada was Canada.
Because I dug one up in northern Ohio. So
yeah, I've dug one. I dug one last year.
I see them in the States come up every now and then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We dug 5 out of the field we were digging in.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
Wow.
That's incredible.
So how much American do you dig, Liz? A lot?
No, not too much. I actually dug a Roosevelt dime today. It wasn't silver or anything.
Really?
There you go. Right?
Yeah, and Wheaties. Like Wheaties really come up good on the Equinox.
They really do.
That's
they
a nice
great.
tone.
Oh yeah, really nice tone. But yeah, very seldom a quarter.
Okay.
Mostly American pennies.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you come across a lot of older large cents like that? I mean, we have some large cents older than 1840. Then we start looking at the Flying Eagle and the Indian penny after that. But do you find any large cents up there?
My oldest American large cent was, and this was funny because this was the very first year that I was like really into detecting.
Mm-hmm.
Some friends had a permission down in Niagara region, and it sounded. I had the Garrett AT Pro at that time, and it was like hitting 90, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
what the heck is this? So, anyways, I dug it. It was about a foot down. It was an 1837 large cent.
You're kidding.
That's
beautiful. Awesome. Absolutely
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That was nice. And that was my first year. I haven't dug one since. So.
What did you say, Joe?
I said, did you lay on the ground for that one too?
That's a
maybe.
Yeah, that's okay. Those coins never get old.
No.
You can we talk about that all. Yeah, there it is. You can find a copper. It could be farm field toasted, and it still gets your heart pumping.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could totally read Liberty on the crown there. It was beautiful. It was really nice.
That's really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Joe's the rookie guy who can't put his phone on silent.
right. I remember my first live stream.
My daughter's laptop and her boyfriend's calling her. So yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, that's funny. Yeah, our latest video is with Charlie Harley. We just put that second stream out, and we found 20 large shints there, I think, that day, and then he's been back multiple other times, and I'd have to ask him, but they probably found another 20 since then.
That's insane.
Over 100 buttons.
Mm-hmm.
I just imagine a bunch of like colonial 1800 people just making up random coins at that. But that's the only, right? It's gotta be that.
You would think. I mean, and it's funny because they're all around the exact same age, and it's funny when we do some of these permissions, these old farms, you find that old stuff, but you don't find a lot of new stuff, which kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't see the levels of the years as you go on. It was it was a certain time period where people were really traveling those areas hard, and then all of a sudden nothing else happened after that. But
there might be a severe correlation in the ability to stitch pockets better and just go up, right? The quality of stitch material.
Honey hole was 100 years, missing 100 years.
Yeah.
The older stuff and the new stuff was nothing in between.
Yeah.
The gap years.
Yep.
Yeah, those are permissions. Your honey hole and that one down there with Charlie, those are permissions that you always talk about. Oh, if we could just get this one good permission, and get us back going. That was it. Have you had those before, Liz?
Permission? Like sweet permissions?
Like what's your honey hole? Your most memorable honey hole?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to be very cryptic in
Yeah,
how I describe this.
Yeah.
My honey hole is a former Victorian pasture that I have been detecting for about 4 years. You wouldn't know it if you walked through it, but I've been like digging stuff from the 1860s for the last 4 years. And that actually is where I found I found a badge that was from this British cavalry regiment in England. And I think it was from 1798 or something. And then they fought in India. And then after they fought in India, they came to Canada to fight in the War of 1812. And didn't I find their badge?
Wow.
That is incredible.
Absolutely.
Dang.
That was an insane find for me.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Imagine if that could talk.
Oh my goodness.
The stuff that's seen.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what? It's funny. I've actually had, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, probably the same way I do, but I had somebody offer me a ton of money for that badge.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it.
But I still have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Unique stuff like that. You can't put a price on it.
Exactly.
The way that it made you feel when you dig it up, it's almost, a part of you at that point, I know Greg has found something from the Revolutionary War, from a Scottish regiment, I think, or something along those lines. And he ended up selling it, but it was a price that he almost couldn't.
They made him a price he couldn't refuse.
I guess so. But for me, I have, to my wife's despair, I have everything that I've ever found that's special to me just sitting right here on display because it's special to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will say, if someone's looking to buy a ton of like Wheaties, shotgun shells, I will part with those for a good price. Highest bidder.
Are you doing a special on the shotgun head stamps right now?
Yeah.
Get one free.
What'd you say, Joe?
Buy 3, get 1 free.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess. What's that, Trey?
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I guess one of the ones that I feel like it's the cool ones that we've seen them come out here and there. I know Quarter Hoarder pulled one when we were at our grow row field, but the bird tags, right? And some of those that offer an actual reward for turning it in, and those you don't feel so bad about, right? Because you're helping the parks or the Fish and Game Service, and might as well make some money, right?
Yeah, I have my how they send you like a little
certificate.
Certificate. I have it sitting over here somewhere. I found one and I turned it in. You feel special.
Thank you.
It was from Maryland, so it wasn't one of the money tags though. So
Just it's pride points, you know.
yeah, at that point, yeah. So, but we do. I kind of use that for permission getting. Not that one per se, but we've been in a couple of newspapers articles. So I bring those along with a poster that we made, and when we're door knocking, right now it's a little tough with COVID and everything. People are a little hesitant to meet you face to face, which it might be a little unsafe to do. But yeah, we have stuff like that readily available to show the people. How do you get your permissions?
You're asking me. I'm laughing. I don't have any permissions. I just can't. I can't bring myself to knocking on a door and asking. I can't.
It's so hard.
Yeah. I'm with you there, man. I can't either.
No.
Not yet, anyway.
Have you tried? Okay, so it is hard, and Mike and I have found ourselves sometimes driving around and seeing someone outside, and we're like, "Just do it, just go, just go, do it," and then we go drive away. So it is tough. But have you tried the digital?
Having somebody outside makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
Knocking on the door.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried some ads like on our local, your equivalent of Craigslist for us, but I haven't had any response.
What is your equivalent of Craigslist called? Is it something cool with a name?
No, it's actually just called Kijiji.
Oh, okay. I thought it'd be just a different name. I thought that'd be pretty cool. Robert's List or something.
No such thing.
No, yeah. So that's the hardest part for us too. We try a lot of digitally, but it's so easy for people just to ignore it at that point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. You can send a message all you want, but
I really like door knocking.
Some people can, and some people are really, really good at it too.
Yeah,
I think I've been turned down twice.
Good at it until you actually try and do it, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
It's hard in Jersey because
the worst they can do is say no.
Yeah, Eric said they're not nice.
Yeah,
it's a tough clientele base here in Jersey. As a native New Jerseyan, it is what it is.
Yeah. My door knocked. Somebody cursed me out and told me to get off the property.
They'll get you. They'll get you.
Okay,
yeah.
You know, I think once you knock the door, and now you know you're on the hook to actually make sure someone comes and sees who knocks on the door. Then it's like, all right, no holds bar. Let's go. Let's make sure, put on the game face and do it right. But it's almost like, it's like a dance. You're trying to figure out what's not gonna tick them off or put their guard up, and what's gonna make them see, okay, we're just a normal group of people just trying to save some history. You're not trying to tear up your lawn.
Yeah.
We're not gonna find fortunes here, but
what I usually say is when they answer the door, I usually just say, I'm not selling anything. And I make a joke out of it, and that kind of breaks the ice a little bit. They start laughing. And then they ask you, what the heck are you doing here?
Yeah.
And then just want to talk.
I've ran into a lot of nice people, which is really nice. And I met one guy, we were walking up to him, and we're just like, we're sorry to bother you. And he's like, no, you're not, or you wouldn't be bothering me.
That's true.
So you get the full spectrum. That's for sure. Hey, Charlie asked, have you ever detected near Kingston?
No, I actually have friends up in Kingston. It's supposed to be very historic out that way.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
what he
should probably take my friends up on that offer.
Well, there you go. So you got that in your back pocket.
That's true.
Charlie he lives in Pennsylvania, and he has a slew of just historical colonial areas.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
on the road and you can't even concentrate on where you're driving. You're just back and forth.
And then the drool starts hitting your chin, and you just wake up a little bit. So, but I know him. I still think till this day he has not detected his front yard.
He still has.
Charlie, have you detected your front yard yet, buddy? What are you waiting for?
I don't believe so.
As he's juggling a handful of GW buttons, he's like, no, never touched it. Never touched it.
Well, the problem is, so Charlie, he has people out all the time. He's so friendly with his permissions, and everybody else finds the GW buttons when they come down. He had Mark from the Hoover Boy, or he had all the Hoover Boy crew come down, and they found which one found the actual GW button? It's Kurt, yeah. Kurt.
Wow.
So, I mean, the area that he's in is just amazing. So,
and that's another thing too. When you don't live in that kind of an area, you're kind of stuck digging clad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
true. Very true.
Yeah, it's tough. Like my dad actually metal detects as well, but he's from the Midwest where there's not as much rich history there. But when you really dig into it, because he was like, "No, there's just nothing around me." I found some old maps from the 1800s, late 1800s. Nothing, colonial is ever going to pop up. But he actually was surrounded in 1800s history, late 1800s history, that he had no idea about because he just he never looked or never had the means to find the old maps. Now, did we get any permissions? No. It's the thought that counts. So
you know what Tricky Target said in the chat too, word of mouth goes a long way, and
it really
you
does.
can't be more right.
Yes.
First and foremost, it's like every farmer knows every farmer, and it's a good problem to have. And but it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, it's a networking thing, and that's really what it comes down to. Once you build trust with one person who they can say, I didn't know you before you knocked on my door, and now, hey, friendly relationship, come on down whenever, and I'll tell your friends. I mean, that goes so far in regards to keeping people comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Charlie knows every person in PA.
Yeah,
I think so too. He's related to everyone in PA. That's what helps him. He's related to everybody.
No kidding.
His ancestors founded Pennsylvania, I'm pretty sure, so that helps out a lot. So, what got you into metal detecting, Liz? When did you start? Why?
When did I start? Well, I was a police officer many years ago, and then I came down with vertigo. So I was off work for a year. I had to learn how to walk a straight line because it was pretty pathetic how bad it was. Anyway, so I was off work for a year, and then it's that time where it's time to go back to work. And I thought to myself that because of the vertigo, that stuff wouldn't just be the same. I don't want to put another officer's life in danger, and I don't want to put a person's life in danger. So I thought, what, it's probably time to, to hang up the belt. So anyways, so I needed something to do, and I don't know how on earth, but I stumbled across, and I stumbled across Nugget Noggin metal detecting.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I even got there. I don't know what I searched for, but I watched some of his videos, and then I went to our local, I guess, hardware store and bought a Bounty Hunter Fast Tracker.
There we go.
And then, so I started. I did not have much success at first, and I'm surprised that I, kept at it. But I ended up selling that one, forgetting about it for a bit, and then I got an Ace, and then within a week I got the Garrett, and then that was it. And then it was like, this is fantastic, and I love doing it.
Yeah, you
It's
have
a
a pretty
quick hobby
similar,
to get you on the hook.
yeah, you have a pretty similar path as me. I did a Bounty Hunter, then an Ace right after that too. But the Ace was actually a really good machine for how much it was and what it was. I had the 400. I don't know which one you had, but
I had the 250.
The 250,
and I'm not knocking anything, please. But it just was not for me.
The AT Pro was a little bit of a step up, huh?
Yeah, it was a big step up.
Well, we have one of our members, he still uses the Ace 400, and they have a Pro. It's he's really good with it, Clay.
Yeah.
And he found tiny silver dimes, coppers all the time. So
yeah.
So it is a good machine, that's for sure.
Yes.
And Nugget. Started with the Nugget Noggin. That's a good channel to start with. He has a really good personality. So, but yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No,
I was gonna say, so as a retired law enforcement officer, my dad's a retired state trooper here in Jersey. But so how many did you know any other police officers that were into detecting, or did that give you any edge? Like just a comfort factor, being like, hey, just.
I had no idea. I mean, I had no idea. I had never seen a metal detector before, but I guess we did have someone on our department which I learned like much later, that like looking for bullets or shell casings at like a crime scene or something with a detector. But I had no idea that those things even existed.
Yeah, that's wild, right? And just completely paradigm shift to what now you're metal detecting all the time.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
cool.
I say that too. I'm like, man, I wish I knew about this hobby years ago.
Right.
I mean, I'm 30 years old, so I say that I wish I'd known about it when I was young, because I would have loved it. But
and I feel like it's a lot easier as a kid to be like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, can I
Oh, yeah.
metal detect on your property? And like, yeah, no problem. You know,
Give them the old puppy eyes. That always gets them. So I always try that, and they think I'm crazy. So, but I always wonder, because a lot of people do start with like the bounty hunter or something along those similar lines. How many people are giving up after that? You know what I mean?
Right.
I see a lot of people with the cheaper machines, and you're deeper than an inch, and you're not going to find anything. So I don't know.
I mean, prior to a couple years ago, it was a big price barrier to get into anything that could really give you performance. I mean, now there's with stuff like the Apex coming out, the Simplex, all the other EXs of everything. But yeah, it's less of it's still expensive to get into though, And if you're a young kid, like asking your parents, hey, do you mind dropping $270, $300 on a detector? You got to really prove that you're into the hobby before, you know.
Hey, Liz, do you have one of these yet? Can you see it? You have
I have the Canuck model.
There we go.
Of course I do. Of course I do.
We just got ours in. Thank you, Andy. Andy O'Neill's in the background with me.
Right on. And it's funny that just came up because this is last winter was probably the first year that I have actually been detecting all year, like in the snow and that sort of thing. Yeah. And going through the bush and that, I was really weird because, you get snagged and stuff like that. Your cord gets snagged and you think, that's probably not too good. But this spring, those covers came out and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
great piece of kit.
Right.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. Now we already see like fakes and copies coming out and across.
Of course. Yeah.
I feel bad for that.
No shame in that game, I'll tell you what.
No, but these are best quality. So go with the snake skins, everybody. Don't go for that fraud over there.
Other nonsense.
Great price too.
Yeah, you get it's $10. Come on.
Right. You're losing money not buying that by not protecting your machine. It's an investment in your future as a detector.
It is.
What made you choose the 600 in comparison to the 800? Just the cost?
And I didn't think, where on earth am I in Southern Ontario ever going to need to detect for gold?
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, the other day, because there was a big difference in price here in Canada. Our stuff here costs way more than it does in the States, but there was a big price difference, and I couldn't swing it. I couldn't justify the price for the 800, and I got to say, I probably don't miss it whatsoever. I love my 600.
Yeah, and you found gold with it.
I did.
Gold detecting mode, right? I mean,
there you go.
Perfect.
Go figure.
Yeah. So I mean,
he pops the video up. That's pretty funny.
What's your settings at on the 600? What's your go-to?
My go-to is Park 1. I don't mess around too much. I actually had a huge learning curve. I don't know if it's common, but I had about a year where I was like, oh, did I make the right choice and buy this? So, because coming from the AT Pro, where there's like really no choice of really, you can't really adjust it too much.
Yeah.
And then coming to the Equinox and everybody else saying, oh, I do this, and I have my setting on this. And it took me a year to kind of just figure out what to put it on and what to leave it on. And then to learn the tones, is it 5 is better for me. I don't like 50. Yeah. I'm happy with the way I have it right now. So I usually dig in Park 1.
Yeah. As someone who also came from the AT Pro, without Trey, and I said this before, he had the 600. I only got the 800 because, it was before I knew Andy. Otherwise, I would have gone straight to him. But I found it on Facebook at a discount, and it was still in the box. It was brand new, so it was a deal. Like another offer, one of us could refuse at that point. But going from the Pro to the 800, it was a significant learning curve, and it is a set it and forget it or set it and go machine. The AT Pro is more so, and the Equinox can be very much so, and you can find a ton of stuff with it, but you get into the Facebook groups, you get into and you see all these people with these secret hacks of this program and that program, and the guys in the UK using beach setting. I was like, this is crazy. So I just got the Andy Sabish book, if that's how you pronounce his last name. because I figure, you know what, it can't hurt to learn more about the machine. And I've been swinging it for, I don't know, I got it almost a year now, and it's, you know, it's still, I'm learning new things every day, and then that's the cool thing about the customization. And it can't be a barrier. You got to take it as a Swiss Army knife. It's what you use it for. You know, you can use it for as much or as little you want it to.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he sent me some of the tricks and, you know, guides in there. And there's some things that he had sent over that I was like, oh, I had no idea that you were supposed to pinpoint that way instead of this way, or this or that. It's funny, you know, all the little adjustments that you can make after you learn the machine.
It's a nuanced machine for sure.
Yeah. And that book is thick too. That's you know,
so. It's a dense read, but you know, I'm taking it day by day, and I'm probably gonna, quite honestly, skip over the beach section for a little bit. I'm not gonna not read it, but I may just pass over because it's not something I'm into right now. But it's definitely something I want to learn. But I'm gonna prioritize learning what is more applicable right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. So I'm guessing you enjoy the Switch then?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
It's funny how the technology is just completely changing as fast as we can blink, because I mean, we're already probably expecting new machines coming up soon. I hear, you know, Deus with some rumors. I hear Garrett's probably coming out with more of their higher line. It's just never ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My pocketbook is not
right.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Me too.
I am done.
Yeah.
So
we have the Vanquish right now that we need to test out. We're going to take it out on Friday, and see if, you know, the differences in it. And right now we have the Pro Pack. It comes with two different coils, so that's pretty cool, and we're going to test those out and see what happens.
Yeah, there's always something coming out just when you embrace and really believe that you know your detector. And that's kind of how I feel right now with the Equinox, is that I kind of know my detector. Something else comes out.
Right.
Oh,
and it's a challenge to learn a new machine.
don't do it. Stay with the Equinox.
Yeah.
Trust me, stay with the Equinox.
Yeah, Joe's got a good resume of machines, right, Joe?
Yeah. Too many.
That's a good problem to have, though, right?
Well, and Charlie just went with Kurt.
Kind of like her, though. I got that vertigo.
Yeah.
It was rain constantly, and that amphibio, man. I'm telling you, I wanted to commit suicide when I was.
Yeah.
I heard that's a noisy machine.
It's
the
bad.
amphibio.
Yeah, it's so noisy. I mean, it was driving me crazy.
It might have
People
been
find something. I mean,
error.
it's you know, and that's the thing too. Going back to kind of like Clay using the 400 and so many people, it's a matter of putting in the hours. And when you do feel comfortable, you get that not complacent feel, but you're like, okay, I've accomplished a lot with this. But that being said, then it's where I feel like that's when you kick your detecting into the next level, and you can actively be able to, you know, your target separation just from your tones as a whole. It's a game changer, you know.
We got to send Corey some stickers. He goes, where can I get some stickers? We
got some fresh off the press with the new logo.
Yeah, we got fresh off the press with the new Copperheads logo.
We actually got 300 fresh off the press. 350 fresh off the press.
Corey, if you email us your address, we will send it to you.
We gotta give some to Liz. So she can
we
right on, Joe.
Send it to her in the mail. I'll get the email to her.
Right on. Right.
I need some Digging Canuck stickers.
Send me an email and I will send you a bunch. Send me an email.
There we go.
How often do you come to the States, Liz, to detect?
Oh, I went to the States 3 times last year. 2 times. I actually, I love dump digging. Like, I'm sorry, I admit it. I love dump digging. Oh my goodness. And I went to meet Metal Pirate Girl in New York twice last year. And oh my goodness, I could dig in the dump all day.
Yeah, because you never know, and you're finding all, you know, sorts of stuff.
Right.
Oh my goodness, wonderful. And then I went to Pound the Ground in October, which I thought was, I couldn't believe the amount of people that I actually met. It was incredible. It was more so meeting everyone and just hanging out with everyone than anything else. I absolutely loved that. Wonderful time.
Were you going to go to Dig Stock?
I heard it was canceled.
It
It
was,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
now. Yeah, not
Yeah.
till next year. But
I
were
think
you gonna
everything's
go?
canceled. Was I going to go to Digstock? No, I was not.
Yeah.
No.
But that's a little. Well, I mean, it's closer to the Canadian border, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well,
so.
I think if it's at the same place as last time, I think I
It
drove
is.
9 hours.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's not that close.
Right.
Well, that's
Depends where.
It's
Well, actually, if you cross in from the northern part of like Quebec, it's a lot closer. But to go across from Ontario, it's 9 hours.
how
That's
far is it
tough.
from us? Chazy's Chaz.
It's about 5.5 from us to get to Shazy.
Yeah.
It's 5.5 for me, and you're farther than me. So
Yeah. Well, but it's a lot of straighter shot. I don't know. I guess it's 5.5 to Lake Placid actually, and then an hour or so. Yeah,
probably
you're
about
right. I usually stop in Lake Placid before I get up that way.
I know Matt Howe's beach bash.
Yeah,
is
that's still going
on. So he's gonna do his.
For
listen, I
now.
get it. Yeah, for
So
now.
everything closes down again.
It is picking back up, so we'll see how it goes.
Back up again, unfortunately.
States are starting to close down. They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, I heard that this is from up here in Canada. They're telling us that the border, the American border, the Canada-U.S. border is going to be closed for they're saying maybe another year.
Yeah. I heard
What?
that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I was gonna invite you down, but that's a no go then.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Yeah. It's a shame, but I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was funny because here in New Jersey, we're still it's a little more lax than it was, but you still got to wear a mask everywhere. But then we went back for my wedding in Kansas City, and it was like a different world, and no one was really wearing masks or anything along those lines. And I think maybe the day after we got married, they just put a new rule in for the whole city that said you had to wear a mask everywhere, and everyone was having a fit. They didn't want to have it, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. So
Mhm.
Copperhead's going to DDPA. I don't know. We saw that's the one we were talking about. In
Yeah. I just joined that Facebook group. Yesterday.
We don't.
Yeah.
Probably.
There's a good chance if it's on, we're gonna be there.
Yeah, we would like to.
That's
so much
my
more local
anniversary.
for us. It's and it's soon.
I don't know
It's in
if I'm
August, right?
Yeah, it's August, my day of my anniversary.
There we go. It's something about detecting an
We
anniversary.
have some bad timing.
I got
Well, and we're going digging Joe up in Connecticut on the day that was supposed to be my wedding in 2 weekends. So it's all those things that gets in the way.
Is there a pretty big metal detecting community in Canada? 'Cause, here it's
Yeah,
pretty big.
they're not as organized, I guess, as
Mhm.
as they are in the States. But yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, and it's like people just come out of the woodworks. Oh, hey, like they'll comment on your video. Oh, hey, I'm from so and so, and then you find that there's like a bunch of people in your city who are digging as well that you can go out with, and you don't have to go digging by yourself anymore, which is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. We are very like the hobby is filled with very secretive people because you'll be driving. I know Mike and I were looking for permissions, and we were driving, and we saw someone metal detecting that we didn't think was in the area. And then I've seen parks where people were in it, and I stop and talk to them a little bit.
Yeah,
But
you got to at that point. We're far and few in between.
Yeah, you really have to.
Oh, I gotta say, what really irks me is when you go somewhere and there's someone that you recognize, but they're like nowhere near living in your city. They're like from 2 cities away, and you're like, seriously? Like,
That's when you play stupid, figure out what kind of detector they're using, ask what they're finding, wait till they tell you the good stuff, and then hope that your detector's better and you go back there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we joke about that too. Like when we go to Pennsylvania and hang out with those guys, we're like, oh, how mad would Charlie be if we stopped and asked these people? We would. That's the unspoken rule, you know.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Most of us, respect each other.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You got to have ethics, otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And everybody will find out fast. It's not that big of a community that once somebody strays or does something, most people will find out.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say you get weeded out really quick
Yeah.
in word of
Oh,
mouth.
for sure.
As good as it can be for getting permissions, it can be bad, if you
Yeah.
don't represent
for sure.
yourself well in the community.
And
That's
everybody's wielding a shovel, so you gotta watch out.
Right.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, but it is funny how there's some unspoken rules that go along with metal detecting. That's for sure. So,
Yeah.
I'd like to think we follow all of them.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
No. Yeah. I think we represent ourselves well.
Except Joe. I think Joe kind of steps out of line every now and then.
Yeah.
but
Right.
We tolerate it.
Yeah, right.
It's senility. It's just taking over.
I still blame it all on you.
Hey, you got more hair than I do, friend. So you're in good shape.
So what's next on the bucket list, Liz? Now that gold ring's off of it.
I keep saying this. I've been saying this for years, for crying out loud. And it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal for any of you. I want to dig a Mercury dime.
Yeah. We love Burks.
I love
Burks.
It's one of my favorite silvers, honestly.
Yeah, I thought for sure I'd come away with a silver, with a Mercury from Pound the Ground, but nope.
Didn't happen.
You want to know a secret? I haven't dug a Mercury dime.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't feel too bad.
Right. Well, some people find them in troves, and then then there's farther and fewer in between. I mean, I have a handful myself, but still, it's like, it's like as a coin that I really like that, and I'm like, oh, this is great. It's a coin that I truly love the design of it.
Yeah,
it's
me too.
Silver, and there's a higher propensity of me finding it. You'd think I'd find a lot more than I truly do.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who digs the crazy bucket listers, and they all get mad at me, and I don't get the comment.
He does have a lot of cool coppers, and his first silver was an incredible.
She had it on her show the other night. I put
the cat bust dime. From
Oh my God, was that ever beautiful?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And the patina on it was really like unique too. So I like those old silvers like that when they start turning black a little bit.
Yeah.
Being in the ground. So I'm the same. I cannot. So my white whale right now, I guess for dimes is the barber dime. I can't pull a barber dime to save my life.
I got two on the ear.
Mike's smiling over there.
And Mike's got two on the ear, and I usually am right next to Mike every hunt. So and that's why he probably kicks my butt every time.
Eric, how many do you have?
Barbers?
Yeah. Really?
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, I pulled one from yours, Eric. I pulled my first one was at your permission.
Oh man, that's okay. I don't feel that bad. Then.
Than barbers.
What'd you say?
More seated than
barbers.
I got more caps than barbers, so double.
Good problems to have.
Yeah, that is.
But it shows the inconsistency of the hobby and the element of luck that it takes, and just being in the right place in the right time.
It really is.
Yeah, Mikey, you were on fire for a while there too with the silvers.
Because
if it goes in streaks.
If you think about it, and I don't know too much about the Canadian currency and what you're finding too, but we do a lot of farms, and if you're coming across something this big, you are a little bit lucky at that point.
Oh, you're a lot lucky. You got.
When you're doing 1,000 acres,
and
you come across something like I found that trime, which is about as big as your pinky. You're lucky. There's a lot of skill that goes into it, but you're also really lucky.
Well, you got to hear it, right? But still, you got to walk over it.
Yeah. So I don't know who's the luckiest one now.
Right. It's been a little bit cold for everyone. Just finds here and there, an equitable amount of finds. I mean, we had some good silver in the last couple hunts, and I don't know. It looks like Metal Detecting NC just got his first trifecta, his dime trifecta with the Barber Mark and a Rosie.
Got a nice
which I've never done. I don't have the trifecta in a day. That's
good really job, buddy. And I saw Louisiana Dirt Diggers joined us too. I hadn't seen him.
We got some awesome people in the chat right now. It's popping off.
That's for
I do
sure.
apologize. I don't have the chat up because of the computer problems. I thought
we don't blame you.
I didn't want to open anything up, so I can just see everybody.
Relaxing on this one. Don't watch the chat.
Yeah. Well, I have a tough time multitasking.
I know.
Nancy accused me of being drunk, and I only had one beer in my system at that point because I was trying to type and look at this at the same time. So I'm still only one in. So I am a lightweight, but not that much.
Right on.
What's your go-to beer, Liz?
My go-to beer is any beer.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer.
Any beer any beer is fine.
Do you guys have a lot of the craft breweries popping up over in your way?
Oh my goodness, tons.
Yeah.
Tons. Actually, for my Thursday live stream, I would just go to the we have a liquor store here, which is the government run store where you go to get your beer and your wine.
Yeah.
So I would go in there every week to get a new beer for the show, and I would just ask the guy, like, what's the weirdest beer beer name that you have, and then we do it that way. So yeah, any beer is fine with me. I don't have a preference.
There we go.
Beer with friends is even better.
Right?
Yep, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
A beer can dug out of a hole, on the other hand, that's
we draw the line there.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, some of those bottle caps and even just the screamer cans that you don't realize, if your first swing you don't realize it's a massive target, you're like, stop you dead in your tracks.
Yeah.
It keeps us going though.
That military piece that you found, Liz, how did that ring up?
Oh, it was very loud. Was like, the location that I dig in is pretty much swampy most of the year. So there's only a small window that I can get it. That's why I've been digging there for 4 years. But the hole was about a foot and a half. And when you sometimes that you're almost at that point where you're just going to give up on the hole.
Yeah. Oh, been there.
I mean, I'm sure we've all been there where it's like, you think, I was at that point where I'm like, I think I'm going to give up on this one, but I persisted a couple more scoopfuls, and my goodness, it was I was so thankful that I didn't give up on that.
What was it made out of? Was it like a pewter or something?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to sound really, really not knowledgeable here.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to sound like my hair's a different color, but I don't know. It's metal.
Yeah. Well, it's metal and it's really cool. That's all that matters.
Right.
I really don't know.
It's funny because I find myself digging those deep holes all the time too, and I'll chase some of those off signals every now and then, just in the hopes that it's something on edge or something along those lines, when it usually turns out to be just a square nail or something along those lines.
But I mean, every so often that's going to pay off huge.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Like when I dug the half dime in our last video, I went at it from one direction. It was 2021, and Mike came back and it was 15, 16, and it was getting later in the day where you're really contemplating those mid-tones at that point.
Yeah.
So if I would have hit it from that angle, who knows if I would have dug it or not?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, it's a double-edged sword with detecting with headphones on. No one can call you out for passing over tones that way. You'd be like, yo, I would dig that. You can just be like, didn't hear it. It's too late tone. It's too late in the day. Didn't hear it.
It wasn't there. But and that's part of the benefits of having people there, because I'll dig a 1.5 foot hole like that sometimes, not knowing what it is. I'm like, Mike, will you please come swing this to see what you hear, because I'm about to lose
quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And if somebody reaffirms that, keep digging, then you're like, okay, I'm going to keep digging it.
Exactly. Which doesn't happen often. I'll tell you that. Well, what else we got, Mike? You got anything else?
No, I mean, I don't know. What's new and shaking in the world? You know what? Here's something that I want to talk about, and I didn't bring it up to you guys, and I'm in the middle of a move right now, and so I've been packing stuff up, and I recently found out that my beloved 9-year-old pair of Red Wing boots, the sole is coming apart a little bit, so I got to get them redone. So it struck me, and I was like, because they're my go-to. It's like as close of an athletic sneaker as I can for a boot. It's a 9-year-old boot, and it's still in immaculate condition. For the most part, the leather's great. So I guess, what do you guys across the board? Do you guys have go-to, and even in the chat, any go-to digging shoe? I mean, my feet can get a little bit hot in the summertime, but they're waterproof and they're just indestructible. Do you guys have any go-to comfort shoes? I know Trey switches around with his muck boots.
Crocs.
Crocs?
No.
Yeah, I usually wear tennis shoes or muck boots.
Yeah. I got to invest in some muck boots, because in the winter when that's thawing out and it gets, oh my gosh, Trey, Joe and I, the first time we went to Grower,
These boots
it was
right
like
here?
you had weights tied to your feet. I mean, I found myself like a can girl kicking my feet up in the air trying to just slough the mud off.
These boots right here are so warm, and you will never get your foot wet in that.
Right.
I got them as a gift, and they're the best gift I've ever received, because I'm so comfortable in those. But it does get hot in the summer, so
Yep.
I've been known to hunt in flip flops a time or two too.
Yeah,
When
someone
I'm-
was saying in there, North Jersey detector detects in flip flops. You know, I
Yeah.
guess, and for anyone, and I don't know if I'm just saying in general, for anyone who hunts a beach, I guess that's the move, right? No shirt, no shoes, no problem at that point. But in the middle of a field, you never know what you're going to step on at that point. I've dug many holes with broken glass inside them. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But
You
yeah,
ever get an opportunity, Liz, to dig any beaches?
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Usually for summer vacation,
Yeah.
we go to the East Coast of Canada,
Mhm.
and wow, the equinox is wonderful in salt water. Absolutely wonderful. I
That's
didn't like the Garrett, not so much. Well, actually, no,
Mhm.
not at all. But the equinox is wonderful on saltwater sand and in the water. Absolutely love it.
yeah, that's cool. I haven't gotten to put mine to the test in saltwater yet.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I've never gone like past my head.
Right.
Like I know
Yeah.
people submerge themselves. I've never done that.
Yeah.
My vertigo won't let me do that.
Understandable.
But yeah, I wish I could do more water hunting than I do, and that's I'm just not
Yeah.
in the right geographical area.
We have a good area, but it's just we have so much land to hunt. It's like, when do we make time to go out there and try the beach?
Right.
And then there's also, I want to try creeks and swimming holes too. That's where I
Yeah.
really want to get to. I see some of these guys pulling up ring after ring in a swimming hole. I'm like, oh, how many
Yeah.
holes did you put in there?
Those underwater detectors, I think that's the one thing I would jump to next. I'm very, very happy with my 800, but that's something I would love to get into. I don't have scuba certification, but just from a straight up standpoint of getting fully underwater, and yeah, I could bring my Nox underwater, but at the same time, might as well keep that dry, not fully submerged, and then get something that's supposed to get super wet and deep at that point. So
Hey, I just want to point out Tricky Targets also said Crocs too.
There we
So,
go.
It's,
I got a pair of camo Crocs.
you put those in sport mode, you're ready
Oh,
to go.
boy.
Man.
the off road, flip the heel down, you're good to go.
Nothing's
my
stopping you at
shoe
that
of
point.
quarantine. In the
Oh
heat
my.
of quarantine, that was
Oh
my
my.
go-to.
Yeah, underwater would be cool.
Yeah.
I actually worked prior with someone who built his own diving rig that would float. He would go by himself. He's crazy, but he built his own floating rig with the tube that comes down, and he would go to. He lives in Connecticut, so he has all these tourist lakes that used to be really popular back in the day that people would go and visit, but aren't so much there anymore, maybe not even existent. And he'll go do those where the docks used to be and stuff like that. And he'll dive down to the bottom, and he showed me a bucket of rings that he had found at that point. So it's incredible, man. You got to think about what's still out there. Even though we're all digging, we're all finding a lot of amazing stuff, there's still so much to be found.
Yes.
Even now.
Mhm.
So that's what keeps us going, I think. I
Yeah.
mean, if it was all there, or if it's all dug up, then what do we do with that? Other than drink our beer? That's about it.
Switch to pulse machines and then start all over again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Have you ever had one of those in your hand, Liz? A pulse machine?
I had a Whites before, oh my goodness, I've gone through a lot of detectors. I bought a Whites once, the one that goes underwater. I don't even remember that. I don't even remember the what it was, but I really didn't know what it was at the time when I bought it. But yeah, and actually, I just bought the what do you call it? That one from Nokta, the Pulse Dive.
Oh yeah.
I just bought that. Actually, I bought it for Christmas because we went to Mexico.
Ooh.
I was gonna go use it in Mexico, but every single day they had the red flags up with all the waves coming over.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to use it, so it's still sitting in the box.
That stinks. Yeah, that seems like a pretty good entry detector to get into some basic, just recreational underwater detecting.
Yeah.
Easy to pack, I assume. I haven't held one in my hands, but it seems pretty compact and just easy to throw and go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. So we got 5 minutes left. Are you wondering what you're gonna do for the rest of the night? Spend it with your family and celebrate Canada Day?
Drink more beer.
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Beer's chilling.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're definitely gonna drink a couple more for you. That's
All
for
right,
sure.
on. And I will totally be thinking of all of you on the 4th.
There we go.
I'll have a beer with you guys on the 4th.
When are you going out this weekend?
I'm actually going out tomorrow morning. I was out very early this morning, which I don't usually do, but was out very early this morning, but it was already crazy hot.
Yeah.
And I didn't I didn't do too well. I got a 54 wheatie. Got a 54 wheat and a 64 Canadian, and not too much, just change. That was really it.
What's the most common silver that you guys have in Canada?
Sorry, what's the most common?
The silver coin, like our Rosie dime. It's probably our most.
That somebody would dig?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my. Probably a quarter. I would think it was a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just sound so good that
Oh,
you're more you're gonna hear it better than you would something else. Like when you hear that silver quarter, you know that it's a silver quarter.
Yeah. I don't know what 34, somewhere around 33, 34 is what our silver Washington comes up as.
They stop you dead.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's a good tone where the coin's flat, if you've gotten familiar with your machine, you kind of know what it is before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the big questions that we get is like, does it actually tell you what metal is you're about to dig? And you know, it's fun I love talking about it, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fun to tell them like, what kind of, if you know what you're listening to.
Exactly.
So.
It speaks its own language. You just have to learn it to figure out what it's saying. You know, it's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Joe, Eric, Joel, do you guys have anything for Liz before our 3 minutes are up?
No, I don't.
Rocking and rolling. Now, Liz, have you ever, as a law enforcement officer, have you ever had the police called on you while detecting?
No, I've never had the police called on me while detecting. I can talk pretty good. I've never had confrontations. Never had confrontations with anybody.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I can usually talk somebody down from getting very irate with me.
Right. Right.
But no, I've never had any problem. And plus, like somebody said earlier, we all have shovels. Like I could swing that sucker and like, oh my goodness, I've never felt.
Do not mess with Liz when she's at the park.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Got the detector in one hand, I got the shovel in the other. That's all I need.
You can socially distance and hack away at someone,
for
right?
sure.
Right?
For sure.
I feel like here we don't even get it. Like, you know, not that we run into too many incidents, you know, with anyone getting kicked off of permission, sometimes in public stuff, right? But I feel like you don't even get a chance to see someone. I feel like if someone drives by and has nothing better to do, or from a window says, that doesn't look like I like it, boom, let me call. And then, you know, and that's when it's like, okay, I love having one ear uncovered just to hear what's going on around me. You don't know if anyone's going to approach you and stuff. So
exactly.
You know, that's the unfortunate part about it. People don't understand from the outside looking in. It's not as easy of a hobby as you'd think to understand for people.
Yeah.
And people like to rain on your parade, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Exactly. I think it all comes across, or how you present yourself, like even if you go into a city park and you're detecting, just how you present yourself, you know, that kind of thing, cleaning up your area and that kind of thing. Most people here, they really don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And someone mentioned, I think on the last stream, is like, it's the only hobby that you end up cleaning up more so than when you're there originally.
Yeah.
I mean, that, like magnet fishing, stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's always a default. Oh, I'm just taking some of the trash out of the park. It
Exactly.
might not be the visible trash, but it's there.
Have you dug anything really good? No, just change.
Tons of cans. I'm just trying to do my part for the environment. Come on.
Exactly.
It was funny. My dad and I drove about 4 hours to a Civil War site that we were hoping we were going to find some stuff. I found my first 3-ringer, which was really cool.
Oh,
We didn't
right on.
much after that. So we're driving the 4 hours back, and we're like, you know what? Let's keep an eye on some of these small towns that are coming through. Because what brought this up, Midwest really doesn't, like, they don't get too nosy when you're doing stuff like that too. So we stopped at this one small town with one little park and one little community center, and ended up with like 9 silvers and a Walking Liberty $50 just out of that little those
Crazy.
2 little tiny squares. So you never know what you're gonna get. Public spots still produce.
Oh, for sure.
You know, we just Chris, one of our guys in Long Island, sent us a silver ring he found today at a park that he hunts on the regular. So it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys continue to pull stuff out. So
yeah.
But hey, we're at 9:00. The chat was strong the entire time. I had trouble keeping up. Happy Canada Day, everyone.
Right.
We had such a good time today, Liz. Thank you for joining us. That was
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, really. Absolutely. Hopefully when this is all over and our borders break down that you can come down and dig some American coppers with
Oh,
us.
that would be wonderful. That would
Sound
be
good?
wonderful. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting, and we will talk to you guys later.
See you guys.